Starting from 2016 until now, the government of Indonesia has shifted paradigm to the new one in addressing land and forest fire. They will more focus on prevention, community involvement, and also improving early warning system, and also calculation of burn area using satellite imagery and other integrated efforts. And we can see here the cycle of forest and land fire management, which is used as the basis for national planning on forest and land fire management. So the government has the phase, some phases like pre-crisis phase from January to April, when fire start in Riau and West Kalimantan, and the warning phase from April to June, and crisis phase from July to September, when most fire occur in Sumatra, Kalimantan, and also Sulawesi. And they have also post-crisis or recovery phase in October to November, and evaluation phase in December. So the government plan fire management according to these phases. And these are forest and land fire control activities, including fire prevention, fire suppression, and post-fire action. And of course, human resource development is very important to forest fire control. For early warning system, we have a national fire danger rating system called Spartan, managed by BMKG, the National Agency for Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics, which already integrate peat moisture content in drought code calculation, and water level monitoring system for peatland area as an indicator for fire, managed by BRG, or Peatland Restoration Agency. You can access all the information in the website. And we have also fire information system, we call it 𝘰𝘪𝘵, managed by Ministry of Environment and Forestry, where we can find burn area information in each provinces, and fire control activities, and also hotspot data, which is extracted from Lapan website. The hotspot data derived from various satellites with various confidence level can be accessed daily, managed by Lapan, the National Agency for Aeronautics and Space. And currently, mobile application for fire patrol is also being developed under collaboration of IPB and Ministry of Environment and Forestry, chaired by Professor Imasih Tanggang. I saw that she is also here, and she is also the alumni of UPM. And for early fire detection, Ministry of Environment and Forestry has also used fire monitoring using thermal, CCTV technology, and drone. As can be seen on the screen, there are 15 locations for CCTV thermal cam, and 34 locations for drone, all in Sumatra and Kalimantan as the most fire-prone areas. And for fire suppression, Indonesia has put a lot of money to suppress the fire, and the government has prepared ground as well as aerial suppression equipment, as well as firefighter teams called as Manggala Agni, and also weather modification to produce artificial rain to prevent the greater spread of the fire. And for human resource development, the government of Indonesia has trained more than 2,000 firefighters from 37 forest fire stations of 12 fire-prone provinces. And now we are supported also by army, policemen, and also fire community voluntary groups. And for supporting community in zero burning land preparation, some technologies have been developed, such as composting, charcoal briquette, and wood vinegar as fuel management. So the community especially can use their fuel to these products, not doing burning. Other than government, various stakeholders have taken into part in addressing forest and land fire, including private sectors, community, CSO or NGOs, and academicians, according to their function, of course. As forest and land fire is a complex environmental problem that need to be approached by multi-stakeholders partnership. This is the key of fire control in Indonesia. So, as for the closing remarks, first, transboundary haze pollution experience in our region is mainly caused by peatland fire. And the second, that human activities in land clearing is the primary cause of forest and land fire in Indonesia. And the third, learning from the bad experience of the fire in 2015, Indonesia has changed paradigm in forest and land fire control by focusing a priority on the fire prevention. And the fourth, various technology have been developed in early warning system, early detection, and early suppression for fire control, as well as social innovation. And the last one, that multi-stakeholder approach and techno-social approach need to be conducted integratively to minimize fire problem in Indonesia. Well, with this, I'd like to end my presentation. I hope you may have more insight on peatland fire and changing paradigm in fire control in Indonesia. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you very much for very interesting and insightful presentation by Dr. Lailat. Basically, she gave an overview of fire occurrence in Indonesia. She mentioned on the formation of peatland, which is it takes long time and is very sensitive, and human disturbance has caused the balance, and this caused forest fire. And also she presented on the fire cycle, which is quite interesting. Even though Indonesia is big, but it seems that fire occurs at a certain time of the year, right? Different in region, but you can identify and put as a cycle of action. Very interesting. And then I present on the different system used for fire management, using satellites, using thermal imagery, and so on and so forth. So, and also you mentioned also the role of the multi-stakeholder, which is very important. It's not only the government that will help to reduce fire, but you need a lot of people, a lot of resources trying to put these important problems. So there's also one question coming up, and this is also from 𝘰𝘪𝘵𝘭𝘦. So the question is that, does forest fire affect the soil fertility? And thus reforestation can be the solution of the fire. So please, Dr. Laila.
Thank you, Prof. Ainuddin, and thank you for Asmatullah for the question. Yes, this is the reason why people still doing burning. When we burn the biomass of the forest or vegetation, so the biomass will become the ash. The ash contain the nutrients. So these nutrients can support soil fertility. That's why people burn the land to increase the soil fertility, to increase the soil pH. But of course, it is only for the short time, not for the long period, for the short time. And even when the rain come shortly after the fire, so the nutrients produced in ash will be leached directly. So the fertility, of course, not to be expected. And the second question, the deforestation. The deforestation, of course, the fire actually caused the deforestation. Yeah, after fire, because the forest fire, forest and land fires related strongly to the land use change. So most forest area in Indonesia become deforested after fire, particularly when the forest area change to other land use, to other land cover such as plantation. So the forest fire, can accelerate the deforestation in Indonesia. I hope I can answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Another question, this by Dr. 𝘠𝘪𝘗𝘀. Please, could you explain? It's moving. Please, could you explain on forest fire and surface runoff generation on pit due to hydrophobicity on the burn ground, meaning that it changed the characteristics of the pit? Please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ayu. Yes, when the fire burned the pit, of course, the pit become dry. So, and the pit has unique characteristic, as mentioned by Prof. Ainuddin, that the peatland is very unique ecosystem, including unique pit characteristic. We call it irreversible drying. So after drying, the pit it is difficult to be re-wet, yeah, to be re-wetted. Therefore, this unique characteristic will be accelerated after fire. So, of course, the runoff will become increased, yeah, after fire because of the hydrophobicity and also the irreversible drying of the pit. That's why in some areas, in some peatland areas in Sumatra and Kalimantan, after vast peatland degradation, flooding coming to that area. Before peatland degradation, no flooding in that area, but after peatland degradation, such as in Central Kalimantan, in Riau province, and also in South Kalimantan, flooding become common phenomenon in that area after peatland degradation. It is due to the destruction of characteristic of the peatland. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Another question is from Logaraj Ramakrishnan. I think he's from GEC, if I'm not mistaken. Does the developed early warning system is accessible to the local community living near the forest? If so, how they have been guided to use the system?
Yes, the early warning system, which is developed by several institutions and managed by BMKG, is accessible to all the people in Indonesia and all over the world, of course, because it is in website, so we can access freely and easily. For the people in the local area, normally they have the information of the early warning from the fire brigade in their place. Yeah. So the information come from the information from BMKG is not used directly by the local community, especially the farmer in the field, but there they have information from the fire brigade or the local government to prevent the fire after having information from the website, so not directly used by the local people. Yeah. Thank you.
I have one question. Indonesia has developed policies,
yes,
in terms of forest fire management. There are also directives from the president,
yes,
on how to combat this forest fire threat. So can you tell us a little bit on this initiative by the government and by the president?
Yes, thank you for the question, Prof. Ainuddin. Yes, you are right that after the biggest fires in 2015, the president directly called all the ministries and institutions related to forest and land fires, and give directives such as they distributed the tasks according to the function of the institution. For example, the Ministry of Forestry and Environment need to be Ministry of Environment and Forestry need to be focus on fire prevention and also fire suppression, and for BMKG, for example, need to be more focused on fire early warning system for Lapan to provide hotspot data, the accurate hotspot data, and also there's a directive of one map policy. This one map policy, so every institution has to use the one map, yeah, produced by BIG or Badan Geospatial Information Agency, and also private sectors also include in this directive that private sector need to also put attention and put efforts on the fire control, because the key point of this directive is the multi-stakeholder partnership. So every institution, every stakeholders need to work together to control the fires, because these forest and land fires cannot be solved by only one institution, but need to be solved by the partnership of all the stakeholders. That's the key point of the directives, including the law enforcement of the fire. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The directive on one map is very interesting, because different agencies have different maps. So that also one problems, not only I think in Indonesia but other countries. So different agencies, and they don't share. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So there's one question by Richard Salindeho from IPB. how powerful is the application of various technologies to drive various problems in peatlands? And does this also encourage community participation?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Richard, for the question. Yes, of course, we have some levels, yeah, of the powerfulness of the technology, because of course, especially for the local community which has no access to the internet, for example, it is difficult for them to access the information like early warning system, the hotspot data. But agencies like Ministry of Environment and Forestry, they always involve local community. That's why we call it MPA, Masyarakat Peduli Api, or fire volunteer community to assist also the government, because government cannot work alone. So people or community need to be integrated. And one interesting example is the one being developed by Professor Imas Sitanggang, yeah, the mobile application for fire patrol. Maybe Prof. Imas can also add information, yeah. By using mobile application for fire patrol, the community can, especially the firefighters in the field, can be supported by the handy handphone, and only by using handphone they can report the patrol, the daily patrol on their handphones, and the information can be directly seen or read by minister in Jakarta. And this is very effective. Before this fire brigade, this fire brigade also include or involve army, police, policemen, and also local people, local community. And before this fire patrol is done manually. So the fire patrol team going to the field, and they send WhatsApp to the office that they find a burn area, and they photo the burn area and then sending by WhatsApp. Then it's very huge piles in Ministry of Forestry because of the report from the field. After this mobile application developed, we are still developing. It makes easier for the fire brigade, including the community, yeah, and also for the Ministry of Forestry and Environment to manage the data of the fire patrol report. Thank you.
Since Prof. Imas is around,
yes, it's around.
A bit, yeah, she can comment on the system.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi, Prof. Ain, Ibu Lailan, thank you very much. Okay, Richard, can you see? Can you heard my voice, Richard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, as Ibu Lailan mentioned, now we are developing the application, mobile application, which is run on the Android-based operating system. Actually, the team is I and Ibu Lailan, and also some friends from Computer Science IPB. So the main function of the application is to collect the field data regarding the potential of forest fire in the Sumatra, and I think next year we will also implement in Kalimantan. So as Ibu Lailan mentioned, the application can collect weather data and also the condition in the field, for example, the potential of forest and land fire, and also the community activity. Okay, and we collect this kind of data. So then the data will send to the ministry in Jakarta near real time. Yeah. So then the managerial level can see the activity of forest and land fire patrol daily activities. So this application is already implemented in Sumatra. Currently, the fire brigade using this application, and we are in the developing of the web-based application for analyzing the data. So we want to also provide the data from the field to the public. So for example, potential of forest fire, or maybe the condition of water sources in the field, something like this, because this kind of data also are collected using this application. So yes, I think in Indonesia to the technology we are developing in order to minimize the forest and land fire negative impact is grow currently. Not only in mobile application, we also developing the application based on the satellite images and so on. So yeah, hopefully our application can help the government to prevent the forest fire in Indonesia, especially in Sumatra and Kalimantan. I think that's all, Ibu Lailan. Just a little addition from me. Thank you very much, Ibu and Prof. Ainudin.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very interesting. And using technology is important because we have a lot of technology around. How to use it to to try to prevent the fire. There's one question here from Muhammad Ridha. From the data I have seen, peatlands are degraded due to uncontrolled bush growth. I want to ask Ibu Lailan, how can we deal with uncontrolled growth of bush on peatlands and not to causing any forest fire? So can you answer that?
Sorry, the question, uncontrolled
bush bush growth.
Oh, bush growth.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So uncontrolled bush growth. Yeah. Yes. After fire, normally the bush can grow easily, especially fern. Yeah, fern can grow easily after fire. So in the dry season, this bush or fern can be the potential high potential for fire. That's why in degraded peatland in Central Kalimantan, where the ferns grow very widely and densely, always fire every year in Central Kalimantan. So this bush or fern grow after fire become also the potential fuel for the next fire. And how to control it? It's difficult to control the bush growth because this is actually the homework, yeah, for the peatland rehabilitation. So actually the key important points to rehabilitate the peatland, the degraded peatland area, is to use the endemic species of peatland, such as jelutung, yeah, and ramin, and other endemic species, because this endemic species will have a good adaptation to the peatland area. When we use other exotic plants such as acacia, it will be dilemma, and also will be the good fuel also for the next fire. I think I hope this can answer your question, yeah, Rido.
Okay. There's another question with regards to technology. It's by Andrea Ajeng. How do the CCTV thermal and drone works in preventing the forest fire? Does it also prevent the underground fire?
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. Yes, this CCTV thermal, especially for the early fire detection. So this CCTV thermal can detect until 20 kilometers surrounding the CCTV, the area, whether there is a fire or not. Yeah. But of course, because they can detect the thermal, yeah, the temperature surrounding the location of the CCTV, then it will be used for use as information for the firefighters to come to that area, because they can, because this equipment also has a camera, yeah, so where's the fire come from and so on. So this is for detection, early detection. Yeah. Fire prevention is the activity before the fire. Thank you.
There's another question regarding to using of satellite imagery. How do you use the satellite imagery? What phases of the cycle people use the satellite imagery for the fire prevention, also recovery?
Yeah. Yes, the satellite imagery is used especially for calculation of the burn area. You know that it is difficult to measure in the field the burn area because the huge area, so it's impossible to measure meter by meter the burn area in the field. That's why the satellite imagery analysis or interpretation is very useful to estimate the burn area calculation. When you see the website of 𝘰𝘭𝘰, the fire information system managed by Ministry of Environment and Forestry, we can see the information of the burn area. The data is from the satellite imagery analysis. I think that's one of the use of the satellite imagery for in fire control.
Can also the satellite imagery analyze different fire severity?
Nah, this is the good question. There is one student under my supervisor and Ibu Imas also, and Prof Imas, who is doing the satellite imagery analysis for determining fire severity. And so far in Indonesia, we have no research yet on this matter. But of course, when we read literatures from other countries like Australia, for example, they use satellite imagery to determine the fire severity. So we've just started this research, Prof. Thank you.
Okay. So there's a potential for further research. Okay.
Yes, yes, it's potential.
Let me see. So there's a question regarding to the steps or program taken by the government to prevent forest fire. What are the the steps? Maybe the new steps. Yeah.
The new steps. Okay. The new steps. Of course, when we see the cycle, yeah. So the government already work starting from January to December. There is a cycle. There is some phases there, like pre-crisis from January to April, because as mentioned by Prof. Ainuddin, that different region has different fire season. especially in Riau and West Kalimantan, where they have the double peak of dry season. Like in Riau, they have dry season in January to March and from June to September. While in other areas in Indonesia, mostly dry season come from June to September. So Riau is a special case for Indonesia. That's why no wonder when January or February or March we heard even in Malaysia maybe you experience with haze, come from Riau, because Riau close to Malaysia, like when fire in especially in Dumai district or in Bengkalis will get cross the ocean to come to Malaysia in January to March because of the special rainy season in Riau. So like that, yeah.
Yeah, in Peninsular Malaysia, we have basically two fire period. One is around February to April, and then from July to September. So that's why it's called coincide. You know, I think because it's near, so that early part of the year there's some fire going on.
Same as Riau.
Yeah. So and I think this will be the last question by Muhammad Reza. Can we use GIS software and SNAP software to fire control and analysis? So basically it's more of using of software. So can you answer?
Yes, of course, Muhammad Reza. These softwares can be used for fire control, as can be seen in the presentation that in fire control there are 3 activities actually: fire prevention, fire suppression, and fire post-fire activities. So these GIS activities can be used as the fire post-fire activities to estimate the burn area, the post-fire activities, and also can be used for fire detection, early detection. So it is belongs to the suppression activities. So for early detection, this GIS software also can be used to integrate or to overlay the hotspot data to the area, and this is very useful to have this software, to have more informative, detailed information of the hotspot. For example, the research of Prof. Imas and the team found out that the strong indicator for forest fire is the clustered hotspot, clustered hotspot, not single hotspot, because hotspot is only the indicator of forest fire, and the study found out that the clustered hotspot is the strong indicator. The clustered and also the sequence hotspot occurred in 2 to 5 days respectively, is a strong indicator for real fires. This information has been used by the government in the regulation for the hotspot detection. Thank you.
Thank you. There's one participant who raised the hand. 𝘗𝘠𝘪𝘮. Do you want to ask any question? Because I saw you raise hand. Okay, it's okay. So if there's no question, I would like to thank Dr. Lai for a very interesting talk. Even though it's only like 20 minutes, but there's a lot of things that we discuss, and hopefully, we can have this further deliberation. And my last question is that for this year, for the coming year, 2021, do you think we have more fire compared to this year?
Yeah, hopefully not, because now the government has prepared all the things, and currently I also been involved with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry to arrange the guidelines for forest fire control, and now the guidelines will be released and will be disseminated to all the stakeholders to use the strategy according to the phases in the cycle. So all the stakeholders need to be stuck on the cycle. Hopefully not. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully not, because we do not want another case in Malaysia.
Sorry for the case going to Malaysia.
Yeah, but we are thankful that we get more days for very good quality air compared to days of bad air. So that one is okay. So with that, I think we want to thank you again, Dr. Lai, and also the participant who gave very good question. And with that, I think we will end this talk. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ainuddin and Dr. Ayu. May our collaboration will be strengthened in the future. Maybe in next time, IPB will invite you and lecturers from UPM to give a talk also at IPB. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Prof. Ainuddin as well, for become a very excellent moderator for this session. And I also would like to thank Prof. Lailan as well for the very interesting talk. It seems like it's too short, like we want more for, if we have more time, it will be, much better, but it's okay. Maybe next time, yeah? So thank you so much, everyone.
The slide, is it possible to distribute to?
Yeah, I already received an email from participant asking about the slide. Yeah, could you share the slide and then I can share with the participants?
Yes, I will share the slides in Google Drive to Dr. Ayu.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Prof. Ainuddin. Thank you, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Prof. Ain, Dr. Ayu, Prof. Imas, and everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.